All right, today we're going to talk about a tool that, believe it or not, quietly runs the entire digital world. It's called Git. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why it's best described as a time machine for your projects.
You know that feeling, right? You're deep into some important work. You make one little change and bam! Instant regret. You're just sitting there wishing for a giant real-life undo button. Well, that exact feeling is where the story of Git really starts.
Oh yeah, we have all been there. That horrible, sinking feeling in your stomach when you delete a crucial paragraph or you suddenly realize the version you had 2 hours ago was perfect, and now it's gone. It just feels like that work is lost forever. But here's the thing. What if it didn't have to be?
See, that's the exact problem Git was invented to solve. On the surface, it's just a system for tracking changes in computer files. Sounds simple enough, right? But that simple definition, oh man, it hides a ton of power.
So let's just forget all the technical jargon for a second. The absolute best way to really get what Git is all about is to think of it as, a time machine. It literally lets you jump back to any point in your project's history, instantly.
And I'm not just talking about a single Word document here. Developers use this to manage sometimes thousands of files all at once. Git creates this perfect, detailed history of every single thing that's been added, deleted, or tweaked across the entire project.
Okay, so how does this time machine actually work? Well, it's all about something called a commit. A commit is like the basic building block. Think of it as a snapshot of your project at one specific moment in time, and it's stamped with all the important info, what changed, who changed it, and exactly when happened.
And this is probably my favorite way to explain it. If you've ever played a video game, you know how crucial those save points are, right? A commit is exactly that. It's basically you telling the system, okay, I like where things are at, this is a good spot, save everything just the way it is right now.
And making one of these save points is actually a really simple three-step deal. First, you tell Git to start watching your project with a command called git init, then you pick which files you want to include in this snapshot with git add, and finally, you lock it in, you create that save point with git commit, and you usually leave a little note for yourself explaining what you just did.
Now here's where the magic happens. When something inevitably breaks, or you just realize you've gone in a totally wrong direction, you don't have to panic. You can just look back at your history of save points and, poof, instantly rewind the whole project to a time when you know it was working perfectly. It's the ultimate safety net.
Now, that's amazing for one person, right? But where Git goes from being just powerful to being a full-on superpower is when you start working with a team. I mean, think about it. What happens when multiple people are all trying to use the same time machine at once? How do you even manage that?
Well, the answer is usually a platform like GitHub. The easiest way to think of GitHub is as a central place online, a hub where the team's entire project, along with its whole time travel history, is kept safe for everybody to see and use.
And honestly, the difference is just night and day. Without Git, you get total chaos. You know the drill. Files named report_final_v2_reallyfinal.docs. People accidentally overwriting each other's work. It's a complete nightmare. But with Git, you get a beautiful, clean history. Every single change is tracked, and working together suddenly becomes organized and safe.
So how does it pull this off? It's pretty clever, actually. First, everyone on the team gets their own private copy of the project to work on. This means you can experiment and mess around all you want without breaking anything for anyone else. Then, when you're ready, you push your changes up to that central hub. Git basically acts like a smart traffic cop, merging everyone's work together. And if two people happen to change the exact same line of code, Git throws up a flag and says, hey, we've got a conflict here, and makes the team sort it out. So cool.
And that is why Git is so important on a massive scale. Have you ever stopped to wonder how a company like Google or Microsoft manages millions and millions of lines of code with thousands of developers all working at once? The answer is Git. It's this invisible hand just quietly preventing absolute chaos behind the scenes.
I just love this quote because it really gets to the human side of things. The real benefit here isn't just protecting files, it's about saving people's sanity. It's about getting rid of that constant stress, that fear that you might break something important. It lets people be creative, to be bold, because they know they always have that safety net.
When you boil it all down, Git is really built on one simple idea: saving snapshots over time. That's it.
But that one simple idea is the foundation that allows the entire modern software world to function. Everything from the apps on your phone to the websites you visit every day.
So I'll leave you with this thought. We've seen how much of a game changer this is for code, but what else in our lives, our writing, our designs, our big creative projects, could benefit from its own time machine? What would you use it for?